I wanted to talk about my running gear for me and the dogs. I've been running and like biking, kayaking, paddleboarding, all that kind of fun stuff with the dogs since I've basically had them, like since Kona was like a year old. And I've kind of gone through like a progression of all the gear that I've used, and I just wanted to kind of go over what I've liked, don't like, where I like certain things versus don't like them in other things. So when I first was doing this, like a decade ago, I was just using a Ruffwear Webmaster harness, or sometimes I used their front range harness, and that's what I would use if I took them out for a run or when I would bike them. And it doesn't matter, honestly, like if you're just casually wanting to get into this with your dog, honestly, just any harness that's going to be a Y shape. So like this, a Y. So nothing that's going across the shoulders. You want free range of motion on their shoulders, hence the Y. And then you can just use a standard leash if you wanted to kind of get into a step into something better. This was the Ruffwear. It's a waist leash, so it clips around your waist here. And they have one that's a bungee version and a non-bungee version. When I would go running, I like the non-bungee version because Kona and Callie didn't ever really pull. They ran sort of more next to me. But then when I would bike with them, I liked this bungee. So that was just sort of what I did. So this is honestly, like if you're getting into this kind of stuff, this is honestly a very basic setup and really great because then you can use them for other things. Like you can use this as your everyday leash. You can walk your dog in this. You can hike your dog in this. For those that follow me know how obsessed I am with Ruffwear Webmaster harness. This is like my holy grail product. I basically can't live without this. But as many of you know, my dogs hike in this. Then once I progressed and I had Ruger and he was the dog that I ran with, I couldn't just stay on a waist leash. It was too hard on my back and just my body in general. And because I have like a chronic injury, that just wasn't helpful for it. So then that's when I got this, I believe the company is called Nahawk, like that's how you pronounce it, I believe. This is a harness that they used to carry. It's quite bulky and a little bit heavy. However, going from like just a regular waist leash to this was incredible. Like it made such a difference when I was running. It gave me so much support. It put the pressure right where it needed to be for when, you know, my dog Ruger was pulling. So this was amazing. But I spent, I don't even know, like probably well over a year running with this. And what I upgraded to along with this belt, which by the way, they don't carry this belt anymore. At least I didn't see it on their site. They've upgraded their belt, which I'll get to that in a minute. I then got these Nahawk harnesses because I was running so much more that I wanted something that was a bit more proper for the dogs to run in. So the Nahawk ones that I got, this one was Ruger's custom made, like a custom fit. And then this one was Lutz, and it's not a custom size. It was just one of their like standard sizes that they carried. These are still one of my favorite harnesses. It's obviously fun because they're super bright. They are padded. And I really, really like these. They're very lightweight. And then I had added their bungee leash, which the bungee here is quite tough. And then it's like the rope. So this was the setup that I upgraded to. Then I ended up trying out, Ruffwear made a Canicross belt. I should have been a little bit more prepared here and had it actually set up properly. But it came like with a leash. I did find that this leash was way too long. However, this would be more ideal if you were gonna be skiing. And it has these little straps that connect and go around like your legs. So they like connected in here. Sorry, I should have been a little bit more prepared here. They connect inside here. I'm just gonna kind of quickly put it together to kind of show without actually putting it. So like this, it like connected in, so your legs would go in. This was very hard for me to use because Ruger is like such a big and powerful dog that it just, I felt like there wasn't enough hip support and like through my legs to like hold on these straps here. So this wasn't my favorite, unfortunately, which is very sad for me to say because I obviously love Ruffwear so much and they make so many incredible products. Unfortunately, this was just a little bit of a miss for me. It might be a lot nicer for those who are skiing. I think that this might be a nicer option, but that's just something that we haven't really been able to get out and do just based on like where we live and we have access to other activities. Then I ended up upgrading, when was it? Not last year, but the year before, so 2023. I got the non-stop Cani belt. This is like the regular version. And I got this when I was actually in Europe. A friend of mine had one there. She let me try hers on and like raved about it. So I ended up getting one and I actually really liked it, but my only negative to it was here, there's like these buckles and it would hit right on like the side of my hips basically. And it didn't matter how I adjusted this belt every which way, it just hit on like almost like a pressure point. So it wasn't my favorite, but it was still doing better than the others. Like it was still an upgrade for me. Then I ended up using the newer version of the Nahawk harnesses. And this one, as you can see, the straps are a bit thicker, so it ends up being a little bit more comfortable. Like I'll show you kind of the difference here on the strap so you can kind of see. So much thinner on the non-stop, thicker on the Nahawk. This one's much more like padded, but still lightweight. So definitely this is an upgrade from this one. And I actually quite like this one for hiking. Like if you're gonna have to keep your dog on leash during a hike, I tend to go to this one for hiking just because it's a little bit more padded. And so when you're kind of, you know, hiking in different terrain, it just makes it a little bit more comfortable. But because I liked my nonstop so much, I then did end up getting gifted to us the nonstop Cani Pro. So this one's the Pro belt. Super, super lightweight, less buckles. As you can see the difference here. Here, let me. So non-pro, pro. So you can see less buckles, and I am absolutely obsessed with this. This is like ride or die here. Love this one. I use it the most now. All of these, probably up until about a year ago, all had about equal use. This first Nahawk harness and this Pro belt probably have been used the most, but then these belts had quite equal use because it's been years that I've now been trying all of these. So my current setup is now this Pro belt with the Nansen Gnome harness from Nonstop. Very comparable to the Nahawk harnesses. Let's see, yeah, okay, very comparable. The straps here are much thicker though, so a little bit heavier, but nice that it has a little bit more padding. But still, I have to say, like, I love these both equally. So really, it's like if you want to go for something that's just like sleek and black, more padding, this. If you want to do fun colors, still getting some padding, this is an option for you. So really, I have no hit or miss for either of these. Love them both. In terms of then my leashes from my harness to the dog's harness, when I switched to this setup, this is for Loot, I was just using Nonstop's bungee leash and love this, no complaints, it's great. I have, I believe, the shorter length. I'm a shorter leash girl. I love the shorter leashes. And when I then got Sven his harness, I actually got his a while ago because I used his harness for other training, like restrained recalls and things like that. But recently, I now have them together and I wanted to then get a different leash system. So I ended up going with the Nonstop bungee, that's like the double dog system. And I was really excited about it. Unfortunately, this was just not it for me. I think this would be a great setup for someone with two dogs that really are drivey for like Canicross or like when you're biking, skiing, that sort of thing. And they really understand like one dog's here, and they're going. Mine aren't quite like that or potentially there yet. So what ends up happening is even though these carabiners swivel just at the ends here, it doesn't swivel here and it doesn't swivel at the attachment to my harness. So what was happening is I have my dog here, my other dog here, and when we're getting started and things are a little chaotic, they're going like this and then going like this, and they keep switching. So then what happens is it's getting tangled. And so then it gets so much that they're like right next to each other, and then I have to unleash myself here and untangle everything. So if you have dogs that really understand where their place is, then this is great. I'm sure that there'll be a point in time where this will be really great for us when Sven really understands what's going on and we do it more often. We haven't done it enough in terms of them together. So like Lou and Ruger really understood who was on each side and they did great together. So when I had them, this would have been great for us. But Sven doesn't go out and that much with us still because he's so young. So this wasn't great for us, but again, not that it's a bad product. So what I actually ended up doing was I'm using just the standard bungee leash, the single, and I have attached Ruffwear's coupler, which swivels at the clasps here, but then because it's attached to the carabiner here that also swivels, it has been way better for us. So the current setup is this bungee, the coupler, this harness, and the Pro belt, which is my like die hard right now. But like I said, this Nahawk harness is like a very nice, like, I don't want to quite say comparable because the Pro is so lightweight. It would be hard to say that these are comparable. Like they're comparable in how they like sort of fit and being comfortable. This is just more padded. So like I said, I really like this a little bit more for hiking, but I love this for running because it's so lightweight, so it's fantastic and still very sturdy. And like I said, love the Nahawk harnesses as well. I think these are also another great option. I believe they're a Canadian brand as well, which is also really nice. And I believe that this Nahawk harness is what you would currently see on their website. Because I got this, like I said, in, I believe it was in 2023. I remember I got it right before I was running with the dogs, fell and sprained my ankle. So then I was off running for a little bit. And then when I got back into it, I was using this. And then I came back from Europe and was using this, this being the Pro. So I hope that really helps everyone who's watching. I don't want people to feel stressed that they need to get all of this type of equipment because these aren't cheap, right? Like they'll last you a really long time. They're obviously really great for the dogs and for you so that you're comfortable. you're secure in your gear, and like the dogs are comfortable, the dogs have really good range of motion. So like if you're really getting into this, then yes, trying to do an upgrade to these types of pieces of gear are great. But if you're just wanting to like see what it's all about, you know, maybe you're a little bit more of a casual runner, honestly, just doing a Y front harness and like even just a regular leash. But again, waist leashes are fantastic. I love waist leashes for like everyday life. So I highly recommend this, whether you're running with your dog or not. This is a nice thing to just start out with. And like I said, most people probably will have a harness and a leash. And if you're thinking, oh, what harness and leash? Like I said, a waist leash and a Y harness. That will be like your nice, easy, you're not breaking the bank in terms of, oh, I need this piece of gear for this activity, this piece of gear for this activity. This is very multi-use. Going for a walk, going for a hike, you want to get into, try some running, you want to try some biking, you want to try these things. This is just a nice like one and done, not breaking the bank. And if you're going with a brand like Ruffwear, it's lasting you like seriously a lifetime of your dog. Like I've said it many times, these Webmaster harnesses, I've had mine since having Kona, and she's 13. I've never had to replace my harnesses. I just had new ones because of new colors. But my original gray ones, I still have them. They're still in working condition. There's nothing like tattered about them or anything like that. So love, love, love the brand. Even with this Ruffwear leash, like I've had this for like 5-6 years now. And it's still like, bungee is still good. Keep in mind, when you are using bungee anything, they will eventually give more and more, but it's again not a deal breaker on that type of thing. If the dogs are really pulling, a bungee is really nice for that give. But like I said, if I'm biking, I was using the bungee, but if I was running, a lot of the times I was using like a fixed leash. Especially with a dog like Callie who's more reactive. So this is even nice because it has this like traffic handle here, so I could bring her close if we had to pass near dogs nearby. Because something to keep in mind is if you have a bungee and you're holding here and your dog's here and you try and like move away, you're getting that pull happening. So it kind of can take you by surprise. So hopefully that is all helpful. If there's any questions, just shoot a comment below. I'm trying to do my best to answer questions as in a timely manner as I can. But yeah, hopefully this is helpful. And again, don't feel like you have to like break the bank. But again, I want to give the information. So for those who do want to upgrade, you're getting more into it. Think about like, you know, good quality gear that's going to last you a long time and really be beneficial for you and your dog.